Hey, everybody, tune in to Recent Tartarian.
Recent Tartarian. Recent Tartarian. Recent Tartarian. Recent Tartarian.
Hey, everybody, tune in to Recent Tartarian.
Recent Tartarian. Recent Tartarian.
Yeah. All right. How's it been? It was a long weekend, and Friday I didn't do a live so I could do that video I was doing with, I forget if it was Ptahhotep. No, it was just my Atlantis ruins thing. Whatever. How you all been? There's just so many crazy things going on in the news. I figured I'd just focus on the news for a second. And by news, I mean technology, because I don't really care about the news. So let's see. Really quickly, this 14th century scroll from Ethiopia is awesome. And let me go just really quickly show you some artwork stuff. Well, okay, wait. Let me also tell you this thing. So China's been building islands, harvesting the benefits of the digital twin. Agriculture is fundamental to our modern lives, but providing the produce we need at a scale necessary. Well, check out the marine biosphere. See, a bunch of these are being built to allow for people to garden or farm underground, underwater, submarine gardening, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's crazy, but I just thought you'd like to know that that's a thing, and you can look into it more. And there's a video game about this, but it's real. So, pretty sweet. Yeah. All right. Now, let me see. I was looking at, well, really quickly while I'm on to other subjects, just because I'm going to get excited about my own thing. Let's go through some links and see what links are available. Oh, I know. You know what? There's a reason why I would tell you what's going on first. So because the title of the video is about AI, generated art, and someone was asking if I was using Dolly. I'm using some Dolly, but like Dolly has a there's some technical reasons why it's more. I mean, it's OpenAI's project, but it's a little closed in its own way, and you have to sign up for use to develop it or to try it. So I've been using Python-based Disco Diffusion, and Disco Diffusion makes, for those of you who don't know, AI can take trained ideas from other painters and even from modeling software, and it can learn how to paint, but in ways you'd be really surprised how good it was. And I started when I saw this, just really quickly, internet AI generated music video. Okay, AI made this music video, and let me just make sure the music's off. But you can see what's really amazing here is it tells it what to generate, and then it tweens the 3D animation into another animation. Boom, boom, and it just becomes the next thing. And so that's really incredible that it can animate so impressively. All right, so that was why I wanted to play with the software, and I got my hands on some of the code. And so I'm bringing this up right now early because here's a point where, I mean, the code looks kind of complicated. It's Python code. It's not that bad. But if you guys have a prompt, right, like I can tell this thing, Moscow, 1812, in the style of the Unreal Engine, force a run time, and then we'll see. We'll see what happens when this thing connects to Google Drive. I gotta set all this up. But, you can then what will happen on my system is somewhere else servers are running in the world, and then Google will virtual machine over there. So the GPUs on someone else's or on some other machine is then used by, this process that we've signed up. And then they'll send the pinged images back to me, and I'll have a copy of the images. And I can do certain things like here, I can define how many steps, how the size of the image, and it'll actually affect the code directly. You don't even have to type it into the code, or you can type it into the code. Steps 100 paradigm. So you can parameters rather. You can do all that. And what's going to happen is, right, this is a series of Python commands. First, it'll check the GPU setting. It'll look for a GPU, and not always the best, and that's another thing. So, this is a couple reasons I'm bringing this up. If you have a fancy, fast computer, then you should help me do this. If you have an interest in this, you can run this yourself. But it'd be cool to have your help because we could run this to create digital worlds. All right, so now it starts to run this part. It starts to do the diffusion clip model. And while this is all happening, because I know you don't really, how could you care? How could you care, right? Let me just leave it here somewhere. Boom. Okay. I'm going to show you some of the ones that I made starting here. Ooh, how far down do I have to go? Okay, boom. So All right, and hopefully this will load. It's taking a second. So you get the point. This was a star fort, right? And it was without any sort of training information. I didn't teach it how to draw star forts, what star forts were, etc. Right? And there's another one. Let's see here. Another star fort. And another star fort. This one was a star fort being hit by waves, I think, was the input for this one, right? And you can see it's not perfect, but that's kind of the beginning of the effort. All right, let me jump further forward. Here's a couple more of these early star forts, and you can see it even generated little bits about fake painter right down there, which is interesting. And you can see more fake generated painter stuff, which is kind of interesting. And it has a lot of interesting technique. It came out looking kind of like a classical painter, from not quite. I mean, these are just really rudimentary shapes, but it's interesting. There's like a person here, It's definitely learning how to draw interesting stuff. So you get these diamonds and lightning and ocean. The lightning and the ocean are becoming a thing. And I had said something about that, about lightning and ocean. So I know that came through. So some of these were early on, not understanding how to prompt the software very well. And yet still, I think they turned out really interesting nonetheless. Okay. So moving further forward, how far do I have to go? Let's see. Time to disco, and then go into the take two. Take two, which would be a good name for a project. Wouldn't you name a project Take Two? If you'd done Take One. And so what I'm saying here, by the way, guys, is if you guys have any ideas for something you want me to input into the software, super chat it, and I will hand generate some AI art based on what your interest is. So this one was going to be a bastion fort in the style of Donatello, and it came out a bit more like it's like a shield Picasso or something. But I like it anyway, right? You get this really interesting pattern of it's basically a bastion fort, and it gets a lot of the things about the bastion fort that I was trying to get. So it started getting me into further looks on the software. And granted, this is with very little effort. I did not train it. I didn't teach it what to grab from. I just said, trending ArtStation and Illustration X websites and scraping DuckDuckGo and Google, and had it do this, where it said, make a bastion fort, in the mountains. I forget what exactly I said. That's the other thing. I'm going to start recording that every description I write for these pictures. This one, I know I said influenced by Hokusai. I said by Hokusai and one other, maybe Hieronymus Bosch, or no, it wasn't Bosch, but another medieval artist and a Japanese artist. And you get this crazy castle design, which ain't bad, that's pretty impressive. So here's further along doing some more of these, and I don't remember if this is the point when I started to pick up the amount of steps it takes, which is a big thing. It helps. Here's a text prompt. A trace Italian bastion fort shaped like a snowflake next to 3 pyramids being hit by crashing waves from a sea made of feathers and diamonds and eyeballs by Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo, and the whole Ninja Turtles, and Hokusai and Bosch. So that was one of the... And early on, I realized, this does something. When you train the image to do something with that many commands, it does a lot. Thanks, Katie. I appreciate that. So here's some more. This one was funny because I think it illuminated pyramids, and you can see that. But look at the paint strokes. You know what I mean? This is incredible, I think. I think this is pretty incredible. And for me, this is where I started to be like, wait, AI is so good at drawing now. And again, remember, this is just from me telling it to draw a trace Italian bastion fort amongst 3 pyramids. And they're illuminated pyramids. But, if I had said that differently, that might have been okay. So here you go. Now here's where we start getting destruction of Atlantis, or it's like a volcano that's forming clearly in the background. and there's seas crashing on the rocks. I mean, it did exactly what I asked for it to do. I said draw a bastion fort with the sea crashing on the rocks next to, I think it was pyramids, but still, I'm impressed. So another example closer in, someone said it looks kind of like the cartography and imagery from the Three Ninja Turtle films. That's the thing. I can imagine using these for so many things. I'm sure I'm going to figure out a way of selling these as like paintings. But you could use them. I can imagine being in a beach house rental and some of these pictures being on the wall, and I would totally believe that somebody painted this in a beach house. It just looks like, to me, something I've seen before. Water spilling over and running down the mountains. And this is like one of the series. This is just the Take 2 series. So when I move on to Take 3, I change some of the effects. But you can see here, it has janissaries. I think I put the word janissaries in eventually. And then you start to see guys appearing on the beaches. I mean, this is crazy. This software is out of control. That you can do... I mean, AI, it's incredible. I'm impressed. What am I supposed to say? All right, here's another one. The wave is becoming part of the building. It's starting to rot away. But as we went on, I started getting it to do more and more routes, and cut-in is like a term. You can do cut-in once, or you can do cut-in twice, 3 times a lady. I did like 8 times eventually. And then it starts to get more and more impressive to me. Gosh, if you really get in there, you can see the paintbrush lines. I mean, I don't get it. It's just that perfect. And granted, it gets better. So that's the thing was, this is AI as a kid painting. And AI as a kid's not a bad painter. It's not a great painter off the top of your head, but it gets more and more impressive as time goes on. Wow, I mean, just the ocean waves. Mountains smaller than castles. Just brilliant. Okay. And then Disco Diffusion is the software where I forked the Exertus build from. Again, if you are going to try to look for this, you can do this yourself. I forgot what the red was from, what that was supposed to be. But yeah, more and more of these. I'm just like, wait, I could do an entire series of these. I can't even believe how many you could do. More and more. So recent Tartarians asked for nuclear power volcano. So we'll do a nuclear power volcano. I'll set that up in just 1 second. In fact, let me go back here and see. This should be working right now. Okay, so I told, what did I tell it to do? Moscow 1812. So this is generating Moscow 1812 right now, And so as soon as that's done, then I'll switch it over to do nuclear volcano, nuclear power volcano. Someone asked, what about the AI generated show that you just posted 4 days ago? Yeah, exactly. So, the other thing was, if you use cut-ins and other memes, so that was made using memes as the initial image sources. And there is an animation meme set that I worked with. I was just surprised to find that there were enough meme sets that you can work with. But you'll be able to do full-on traditional style animations, or rather have AI do it for you using that software, which is crazy. So I'm going to get into some of the early Pepes I did along the way to this as well. Let me get there, though. So I'm going to go through a couple more of these castles. I mean, because I think the castles were some of my favorite ones. By the way, I'm doing an interview with Tad Stones, creator of Darkwing Duck, Rescue Rangers, Buzz Lightyear, and a storyboard artist for Bob's Burgers. So Wednesday, I think that is. You're gonna want to probably tune in to see that if you like your Disney, like I do. I think Tad Stones is one of the last scions of the Walt Disney era. He's one of the few that still knows about how to do traditional animation and how things used to be done. So it'll be a very interesting conversation, I'm sure. But more colors, more janissaries in the waves coming up the mountains. I think I get a big Picasso vibe, like early Picasso kind of. Maybe not everybody's favorite Picasso, but I definitely see it. And you can just produce these just nonstop. There's another volcano. Another tower. Wow, it's like a pyramid on top of a tower in just Algeria. I don't know. It's amazing. So then, yeah, okay. And then we got back to this. Let me just be careful. Did I go too far? Oh, this is too deep. Let's take 3. I gotta get back to take 2. Take 3. The last of take 3s should be here. Okay, we got there. And then pastime to disco. That's where I have to get to. Okay. And then things get weirder once I start changing all the patterns. I tried doing still lifes, and still lifes turned out really crazy. But then the Pepes. So the early Pepes I thought were really interesting. So this was, oh man, I'm on the wrong tab. That's embarrassing. Really, guys? Someone remind me. Someone scream at me when we're on the wrong tab. That's not okay. Oh dear. How long is that going on? Were you guys even able to see? Did you see any of those? Like, what just happened? Did you see the islands and stuff? This is crazy. Well, like, you saw these, right? This is what I was trying to show you. So hopefully you saw these guys. And yeah, the volcanoes. So, all right, now that you've seen those, here's the Pepes. Now the Pepes are strange to me because I told it to draw a Pepe. I think it's told to draw Pepe the Frog. Might have been when I think that might have all I told it to draw. And then it drew that, which is pretty crazy. Then I told it to draw like Pepe and Chatelet. And you get a little bit weirder stuff. And I like it a lot. It looks like out of the tadpole into the frog. You know what I mean? It's becoming the Pepe. So these are some rares. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to start selling series of Pepe rares, you know. Yeah. Like, what the heck? It's like Pepe on a half shell. This is creepy. So more and more I'm impressed with the art that's being created. God, that Pepe. That's the Pepe. But it gets weirder. It gets weirder still. Because then I say, draw me Pepe in the ancient Egypt. Let me see this again. Pepe the Frog in the ancient Egyptian pyramids of Giza, in the style of Matt Furry, the creator of Pepe, Keck, Chatelet, Meme, Heket, trending on ArtStation. And this is the first one. And remember, I'm only doing like 4 pass-throughs. By the way, let's check on the art that we were doing before. And we're nearly done with this piece. It's at 31 of 40. So as soon as this is done, we'll jump on to the next thing. And let me make sure, display rate, I don't need to do this many. So I could turn that all down to like 5, 1. You know what I mean? And then, but, you know, maybe 3 is good in case I want to change my mind or something. But I can change up here, number of steps. Let's do 150 steps, 250 steps. That's pretty good. But again, I need somebody with a more powerful computer. If you at home have a powerful computer and you'd like to be helpful, you could send in your processing power to Andreas and make 3D models, which literally we could make this into a VR world where you can walk around, which is just crazy. Okay. So again, here's the Pepe, and you've got just so much going on. You have this Mayan hieroglyph of the world bridger in his hand. And then you've got this, you know, the series of Illuminati-like eyes and this obelisk and Egyptian stuff. It just turned out kind of sloppy, but you got to admit, it's kind of accurate too. So let me just jump a little bit to the next one. And this is the one I thought, this is one of my favorite Pepe memes I've ever seen, actually. Now, I know it's a little weird, but remember it had Pepe, Egypt, at Giza, Heket, Akhenaten. You know, I forget what it was. But so now the frog's face is part of Egypt. And if you look at it, there's more faces here that make up a bigger face, right? There's the white eye is continued on. So there's this idea that starts to emerge of trihemispherical intelligence, semi-singular, semi-omnipresent, trisingular intelligence. And I think AI is trying to tell us something with this. And it might sound crazy, but hear me out as we advance along further. This one, I'm sorry, actually I like this one more. It's crazy. You've got, Egypt's ruins, this beautiful, look at his face though. It's a perfect little mirror face, like the mirror Pepe. It's perfect. Yeah, NFTs all day long, Dylan says. I totally agree. This is crazy. Yeah, thank you, Yegis, for telling me it was only on the wrong page. I apologize for that. But, okay, you get the point. There's legitimately nothing cooler than this. This one's cursed. It's, Egypt in the jungle, in the rainforest with Pepe everywhere. Okay, and then I started doing more Tartaria and Chicago World's Fair and stuff like that. Okay, is this the clean... Where's the clean version of that? I just saw it for a second. Right. These I tried to save my settings so many times. Okay. This should open. Okay, so this one was funny to me because I said, hey, draw me a picture of Tartaria. Nothing else. And it did come up with its own sort of cyber space punk dystopia, whatever. But at the end of the day, you look at it and you're like, wait a second. I mean, you can make it make sense if you want it to, I guess. But I see something that makes sense. You got this Titan monster, this one-eyed snake that's this cubic beast that is the land itself with a castle on her back. I don't know. Kind of interesting. The idea of like heaven and hell are between her jaws, Pretty sweet. So then it gets weirder. I'm really sorry I did this kind of. So, obviously pigs in space, but this, I feel like AI was messing with me here. They're like pigs in space, and so it drew like pigs imploding. Oh God, like pigs imploding in space. And it's adorable because it's like their little space outfits. They were trying so hard to be in a vacuum, and then they just got sucked up. And their eyes, and it's just horrifying. There's like a wad of pigs that have just imploded from an exploding spaceship. It should have been safe pigs in space or happy pigs. I don't know. But this is nuts. I'll tell you what. This is, and you can see like the fur and stuff. And you can use, for inspiration, instead of a regular artist, you can use Unreal Engine or, some CGI technology. Okay, so then it got weirder. This was Pepe, Moses, Akhenaten, all together. Okay, this one was the library of the Parthenon Temple of Zeus or something like that in ancient Athens, as done by MC Escher. And I think it turned out pretty well as well. I'm definitely missing some stuff here. There's more that I did I'm not seeing. This one is supposed to be the Battle of Vienna. And I feel like he did a great job. You see Germans and Ottomans and Prussians. And that's just, come on. That's basically, granted, there's a lot of paintings that are realist from that period. So it definitely picked up some ideas. But you can almost see Napoleon. And that's pretty impressive right there. That's pretty sweet. Okay. Jumping back to make sure that we don't miss our opportunity here. Where's that thing? Huh? Yeah, okay, right here. So this just 5%ed itself. We can stop it, and because we just did another one. So then we'll do the prompt was nuclear powered volcano. Did I get that right? Is that what you guys wanted? Let me just make sure. Nuclear power volcano without an ed, just nuclear power volcano. I'll try that. Is that what you guys want? I'll try that. And let me know if you guys have other suggestions. Just super chat, and I will make you art. And even if it's like a more complicated one, and you want like a series of these things, I can end up doing that later. And so I'm thinking I could do this more often. I could just make pictures generated. Now let me also see if I can find the one I was looking for a second ago, though, because should be more. I have some cityscapes that were really impressive, but here's the one we just did a second ago. And I just said, Moscow, 1812. And it's piecing together some ideas about Moscow from 1812. But there's some missing ones here. That's crazy. Where did the one I had go? I had more cityscapes. This right. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this one was one of the ones I really liked, and I told it to draw the Columbia World's Fair 1893. And it gave me, like, ice brokeage, and I wonder if I can zoom in deep enough that you can really see this. Let me see here. I'll just download the file. Open that up. Oh, nope. Not what I want to do. I want to keep it open in the browser, yo. That should work. Okay. Any day now. Okay, there you go. So, zooming in on here, you can see the flag and all the information of elements, and I could easily have added more detail and higher resolution, and this would have just been a deep photo, but instead it came out looking kind of like a classic 1880s photo. But you can see there's like people by their boats, and they're like ghosts of people. So I don't know. I thought that was pretty impressive. That this was just produced from, Chicago World's Fair Columbia Expedition. That's not bad at all. My opinion. Kind of impressed by that. Receding gum line. Bob Ross clone lost in the metaverse. Okay. Do you want it to be a clone lost in the metaverse by Bob Ross, or Bob Ross clone in the metaverse? You got to be very careful about how you want things written. I just want to make sure you let me know before I type that one in. Okay. So, jumping back again, let me just look and see where our pieces at that we were working on here. Nuclear power volcano in the style of the Unreal Engine. I added stuff here, Brittany. If you wanted, I could take out in the style of the Unreal Engine. I could have been in the style of Pablo Picasso or, of Vermeer. I don't know. But here you go. This is the 28th of the 90th cut and frame. So a nuclear powered volcano, and it will continue to generate until it has a more clear resolution, and that's going to be pretty cool. Once that's done, it'll look, and this is about halfway, a third of the way done. So, and you can see it's starting to already increase it's using the Unreal Engine to give it some 3D graphics, which is impressive. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the main thing I wanted to show you about that software, actually. Like, that you can do that is pretty incredible. I don't know what you guys think of that, but that's kind of blowing my mind. And I'm going to type in receding gum lines Bob Ross clone thing. Just make sure you let me know if that's exactly the way you wanted it put. But that'll be the next one I do. It's pretty impressive that you can tell some piece of software about a place, and it knows enough from the weights of meta tags that it can draw that place pretty well. And I'm testing it in other ways. So clearly it knows about Egypt. It knows about Paris. It knows about Tartaria to an extent, which is, it doesn't know enough about Tartaria, which is requiring us to test it more and to bring it further forward. But it's not bad. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Let me jump also to some more of this technology stuff really quickly. Can you see this? No, I keep going back there. Looking at some of these links from AI. Because what I'm noticing, basically my thing is that I'm noticing AI is becoming really sentient really quickly. And right now, it's crazy to interact with AI all the time. But do you guys remember Coco the gorilla? Let's see if I can get a picture. Coco the gorilla up here. Coco, that's how you spell it. Coco. All right. Coco the gorilla was she could paint. Is a gorilla that painted. Famous for painting, and everyone was like, "Wow, how intelligent is this gorilla?" And it reminded me at the time, I feel like the way I feel about AI is the way researchers felt about Coco the gorilla, because they were thinking, "Wait, if Coco the gorilla can paint and can speak in sign language, what does that tell us about cogency, cognition, whatever?" I felt like that was, as a kid, I was most impressed with Coco the gorilla. Now it's all about AI. Now I'm constantly waiting for AI to draw a painting or to answer a question, or, it's some of the freestyle AI programs are so incredible. Watching AI just freestyle for 7 days straight, no breaks, just coming up with new words, or for 24 hours a day streaming, just nonstop. The fact that AI can do that, it's just crazy. And so watching AI make these quick steps towards cogency, it just blows my mind. And other people are saying, okay, is this intelligence? Well, I think this kind of qualifies at a certain level. This might not be general intelligence, but this is a broad intelligence. It's able to take information from other sources. It's able to make something based on that. And you can say it doesn't understand it, but it does, as well as anyone understands anything else. People are taught through the weights of impressions, and the weights of impacts on meta tags are being used by AI in order to learn how relevant its posts are and by to other people. And from there, it's defining meaning. And that's just crazy. So I'm impressed with the development of AI more and more. And it's just crazy to see how fast things are changing. Let me jump in here really quickly, too. Also, guys, by the way, there is a episode of Adam Krigler's Base AF podcast tonight. I know what I can bring up because of that. That's something that stuck out. Rob Schneider, hopefully this will come up on the show tonight. Rob Schneider has been... Is there any news about it? They don't even tell you about it. All right, well, if you... it said something about his tweets about COVID, but Rob Schneider is a conspiracy theorist coming to Twitter right now. Now on Twitter. So, bro is like posting all this stuff here. That's just great. I love it. It's well, not that one, but let's get down here. What was it? It said Shapiro stuff. I wonder if that's the same one. More than disturbing. Criminal. Pfizer new. 35 minors heart damage. So look at this. Look at Schneider. This is crazy. Okay. This is the one I saw and I was impressed. Tens of thousands of chickens killed in Wright County egg farm fire. WCCO, Minnesota. Yes, see, I know about Minnesota, and you know about Minnesota, but do we know that Rob Schneider knew about Minnesota? I didn't know that Rob Schneider knew about Minnesota, or cared, or about conspiracies in general. What he's talking about in a lot of these things, he's saying, check out, they're just getting rid of all of the food. Who's taking out all the food? And it's true. In case you're not paying attention to it, I'll help you out. Here's one of the largest egg farms in the country, mysteriously torched. That's Food Factory 19, torched in 2022. Since Twitter won't let me retweet this, I screenshot it for you. Right? So Rob Schneider's doing that. Pretty sweet. Price increases. I don't know what he's up to. Is he complaining because he's trying to get himself more fans? I don't know. 'Cause it seems like there's a better way to do that, and this is pretty sweet. What is a woman? Wow. Rob Schneider, what are you doing, man? Who knew? Just another conspiracy theory turned out to be true. The Spanish meteorological agencies confessed that Spain is being sprayed with lead dioxide, silver iodide, and diatomite. So this is crazy on its own. Just the fact that we're finally, and I remember being in Spain and France and noticing that the weather patterns were clearly designed to influence the wine production, the agriculture, and to make sure that they didn't lose their money. But now Rob Schneider is even posting about the Iberian Voice, posting about how contrails exist. So it's a trifecta. It's a perfect trifecta of everything you want. You know, you want Rob Schneider is a conspiracy theorist. I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's not bad at all. I'm going to check back on our progress with the volcano. That's not bad at all. Oh, is this a second one? Or something like that? Not even sure. So it'll continue to load throughout, and it'll build up. Here's another interesting. Generative flow networks may be the next major step in building better AI systems. And this is kind of what we're noticing here, where if you're able to tell something about something, and it knows other things about it, then it can build up a pretty decent understanding of something. That sounds kind of boring, but what you can do with that is you can literally tell some software, you know, pull in information from trends. You know, I want to draw something using the colors that are the most popular today, or the colors that were the most popular 4 years ago because they're about to become popular again. Or I want to use the paint style of Hokusai, but I want to use the colors of warm period Picasso. I mean, just the world's your oyster. It's crazy what you can do with AI. You can train it to just pick up on any amount of information, and in ways that you can't yourself. That's the other thing I'm thinking about with this, is asking it to draw the pyramids or asking it to draw a map. And it draws a map is one thing, but having it to draw a descriptive location or a kingdom or something. I mean, it's producing information. It's producing new information, but so much of it's based on real information that it's probable that it understands the information better than we do. If AI has looked at every single picture of a volcano or every single picture of the Ottoman siege of Vienna before it produces its picture, we're going to get things we just hadn't realized were important. I just think that AI is going to lead us to understanding more about ourselves. That's going to bother people because they want to think AI is completely evil. But I think it's just kind of inert on its own, because it's this gorilla that needs us to tell it what to paint pictures of. Individual differences in, he does this every time, and it just bothers people. Spinal gene delivery induced functional switch in nociceptive neuron reverses neuropathic pain. Okay, so here we're going to use GABA to control your mind. That's going to be nuts. We'll be able to destroy pain. Pain's something that actually produces certain kinds of beneficial results, though. Like if you associate suffering with certain hormones that digest, apoptosis is apparently associated with stress. Your radical white blood cell killing off any sort of mutated cells. That's part of that stress. Stress puts out a hormone that makes your blood search for any sort of problems. Working notes on the role of vision papers in basic science. Many of the papers I most admire are vision papers. Rather than abstractly define what a vision paper is, here's a list of a few such examples. Here's the Turing paper, vision paper. It's kind of a white paper, and it gives you an idea of how to have a vision for what you want. These are going to become more and more useful. It used to be that you'd have to digitally program every little piece of code, and that's what we were looking at earlier here. Everything here was so important. Now, I'm able to tell something in a string of logic, and AI can generate a string of commands or a description based on that. So OpenAI, you're going to be able to write full-on scientific papers with formulas that explain how to do exactly what you want to do, as long as you can write a clear enough vision paper. And that's going to be everybody's new. I mean, from now on, no one's going to need to write papers. You're going to just literally say, here's some things I want the paper to be about. Here are the things I want the paper to effectively prove and do. And then the paper will be able to produce that on its own. I think that's just crazy. Well, this volcano thing is coming, man. Let me just check it again. And we'll do more of this stuff tomorrow as well. I have a show later again with Adam, so I'm only going to do one more of these like right now so that you can get a handle on what the software is. But I'll be doing these all the time, so you can always send in requests, or if you later on want to go to andreas.me and you can send me a request for an NFT as a donation. How about that? And you can say something you want specifically. I will produce it. Just put it in the list on the donate. Specifically, type in any specifics. Type in whatever you want, and I'll make sure that it happens. Man, I'm gonna go through some of these comments too. Guys, just so you know, the mods are doing the best they can, but there's really, if you're getting your information cut, it's maybe not even Memory Man or me or Brittany or anybody. It's probably you. That you're probably the reason you're getting censored. So I don't know, and it's because YouTube does it. Like really, I've set it up so that automatically it would have told me if some specific you blamed somebody, one of the mods for blocking your post. It's held for review naturally by YouTube. It's not like I don't know what you want, guys. It's not like some sort of a rivalry going on here. It's ridiculous. Okay. Yeah, okay. And this is the thing. People having all kinds of language on their chat. Did you not look and see what's going on with that? There's a whole article about that. Let me see if I can find this article. This is something that came up recently. Well, you might not even be able to find it very easily. There's a huge bunch of complaints, compilation of super chat messages. There was a whole article on like the trouble with super chats. A bunch of people are super upset about super chats, and they're saying, "Hey, we can't control what these people are saying." Sup, Travis? Yeet. Do you want me to type yeet into the software? I'll do it if you really want. But yeah, there's a lot of people that just think you can say whatever you want on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook, and you can't. And it's funny because you can say a lot of things you can't say on one on the other for whatever reason. So you can generally, if you have all of them, you can say what you want somewhere. So I don't know, but it's kind of weird because people are just saying, "Oh man, I want my freedom of speech." Well, yeah, we'll go fight for it somewhere because this is the internet and we don't have it. And I know it bugs you because you want me to just be like, yeah, we have to be allowed to say whatever we want. But, when you guys do that, not you guys, but when someone trolls and says a bunch of horrible stuff, it gets our videos blocked off from everybody else. And there's kids who want to watch these videos too because they're trying to learn about history, science, education, AI, whatever. So we're trying to keep it, available for them. Doing our best. Xenon Orion, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Xenon says he's about to get their first PC. If you have a great GPU, if you have any kind of good GPU, then yeah, and like hit me up in the Discord and I'll walk you through how to set the software up. You might be able to do at least these simple pictures, and if your computer is pretty powerful, you'll be able to generate actual videos that move through scenes with 3D models. And if you have even a more powerful computer, which I don't know, $1,700 is probably fine for what we're talking about, you can do a 360 VR world where all of the images exist in 360 space. You can use your phone on YouTube by uploading it, or you can just make it into a VR game. I mean, we got to sell some games. That seems like a good thing to do. I don't know. All right, let me come back to the volcano picture. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little seconds till I get that there. I can't tell. Is it a second picture? Did we already get one done? 1 second. Loading on up. Yep, there we go. Nice and slow. That's what I get for generating imagery. Okay, so here's the first one. Now, I can change it in some ways, but it's kind of interesting because you got like smoke and lava coming down. At first, I was thinking, that's not what I want it to look like. But now the more I look at it, the more I'm like, well, I get why AI thought it should look like that. It's not bad at all. You get this idea of there being, clouds of smoke and this kind of steam coming out of the super saturated rock that's coming out of the volcano. Not bad at all. But I think I should next time say, in the style of a painter. So, guys, if you want to suggest more designs, painters, descriptions to put into this stuff, let me know, and I will set that up. I'm going to do more of the stuff tomorrow, but I have to set up right now because Adam's show is going to be on in a bit. So I just wanted to introduce you to some of this technology, but hit me up in the Discord if you're interested in any of this software, if you want to learn how to paint, to use AI to paint pictures, to generate photos. I mean, I have so many other examples, and there's so many other people that are working on this. They're doing an even better job. Like I said, I just started with this, so it's going to be a while before these are ultimately perfect. But it's incredible technology, and it's interesting to watch as it's developing because this is brand new right now, and you can see it's not so much about the perfection of the painting. It's more about how much AI understands Gestalt psychology and symmetry, because you can describe it terms and see what relatively is important. Looking at some of these comments from people really quickly here. Yeah. So yeah, and guys, be nice to the mods because the mods have seniority. So like, if you guys are rude, then I'm sorry, but we're trying really hard to keep this working. So, all right, it is what it is. Love you very much. Oh, like and subscribe, share these videos. Go to Tartarian Nova. Go to andreas.me, exerus.com, donate. But also, let me know if there's things you want me to generate art from, and I will generate them for you. If you need specific things, maybe I'll make you guys like an NFT, and you can use that. And if, more importantly, you don't have any money, but you do have fancy GPU, you got a good desktop computer, gaming machine or something like that, but you don't know how to do anything cool with it besides play like video games, let me know. I will make you a program that you can run. I'll give you a copy, paste it, and then all of a sudden your computer will be used for something interesting and useful. And your name will go into the history books as having helped AI generate some pictures of Tartaria. So that wouldn't be the worst thing to do, right? All right, guys. Take care of yourselves and each other, more importantly.
Hey, everybody, tune in to Recent Tartarian.
Recent Tartarian. Recent Tartarian. Tartarian. Recent Tartarian. Recent Tartarian.
Hey, everybody, tune in to Recent Tartarian.
Recent Tartarians. Recent Tartarian.